Mimics are not only the coolest and most interesting enemy in all of Prey, but also just one of the most fascinating in games in general. And the reason for this is their signature ability to transform into any object in the environment they see and hide in plain sight, only to pounce on the player once they get too close. But one big question revolving around these little guys is how do they even do this? And even more haunting, are they able to turn into more advanced things like, say, humans? First of all, on the topic of how mimics even transform, we can actually find a scientific research article in-game that states the following. Time to place your bets on how this actually works. My money is on number 2, obviously. Number 1, hallucinogenic field. Mimics project a field that causes observers to think they see the object. Number 2, pocket dimension. Mimics swap places with the object in a parallel universe, stays connected via wormhole. Number 3, transmutation. Mimic reconfigures its atoms and molecules while maintaining its own subjective consciousness. As for why the scientists on Talos 1 thought the pocket dimension theory was most likely, it comes down to other research logs and entries we can find later in game that explains how during testing on mimics, scientists found that objects and the mimics that turned into them themselves did not share any biological or cellular similarities, meaning the mimics were not just rearranging their molecular structure to appear like another thing. On top of this, when taking space-time signatures of the objects mimics turned into, the readings for the time movement and dilation did not match other objects that were real just beside them, implying that the things the mimics were turning into actually came from a separate pocket dimension on a different space-time continuum. In fact, some in the Prey community have even begun to speculate that the real reason the original aliens were able to travel through space so long to reach Earth's orbit was because they teleported into different pocket dimensions to slow down the progression of time and not die. Regardless though, as to how mimics actually change the environment around them is still a complete mystery, and they may be hiding even more secrets too. Because hidden in the Datamined game files and released to some press agencies, there was at one point a very gruesome and horrific animation in-game that showed a mimic transforming into human beings. And while this was never implemented in-game, it seems to imply that at one point in development, this was an idea that was supposed to be added to the game. And if mimics do actually have the ability to copy not just inanimate objects, but humans too, could this mean that some of the people we talk to in-game were nothing more than aliens taking the form of a harmless human? This idea ties very well into the ending of the game and alien-human hybrids as well, and adds just an extra layer of intrigue to a story already criminally underanalyzed.